I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
Hey, Gritty.
This is Midwest Mike's coming back at you with another episode. Getting it done on a Monday. Austin and I fly out to Las Vegas tomorrow.
Gary and Austin gonna go have fun.
Hey, you were invited.
I was.
You were invited.
I was. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Hey, man. You can still go. Just buy a ticket. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'm sick. I can't make it to work. I'm sick.
Oh, I could still work from Vegas if I wanted to.
Oh, now you're really making it. You're really not giving yourself any excuses now.
I know, man. I know. But you know these season tickets got to be paid for too.
Yeah.
Next year it's not going to be.
True.
Next year this Vegas trip ain't going to be like a surprise to me.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So, a lot has happened since we last recorded. Dallas did end up using the franchise tag on Tony Pollard.
Yep.
Which was not a big shock. I had thrown that out as one of the options a few weeks ago. That Dallas could employ. I think it's a good move. I mean, keep him for another year. You can still work on a long-term contract. You can still work with Zeke on his restructure. I think the timeline on that is probably, midsummer. There's usually like that June or July kind of bonus in there.
If it even happens.
Yeah. On it, whether they'll restructure or cut Zeke. But I think one or the other will happen for sure. This is
What do you think? What do you think will happen?
Well, I mean, he says he wants to stay in Dallas, and if he wants to stay, then he'll take less money to stay. But
His agent might be calling around testing some GMs.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm him, I'm okay with his agent calling around and saying, hey, what are you paying for Zeke? What's your number? And go back to Dallas with that number. And
unfortunately for Zeke, the other news that broke out, in the last 8 hours, with the opening of free agency, we'll just call it free agency, but it's the tampering period. Austin Eckler was granted the opportunity to go find seek a trade partner to get out of L.A. So I am pretty intrigued to see what teams do. Like, I think that slows down the Zeke talk right off the bat because I think Austin Eckler brings something to a team that not a lot of running backs can bring. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can run the ball from back there. He blocks pretty well, and he can also spread out wide and run routes. A lot of things like what we're talking about with Zeke. Zeke has steadily regressed. Since he's gotten a little bit older, he's getting a little bit heavier. Everything just points to a lot of these teams are going to see what happens with Austin Eckler first, I think. So, Gary, to your point, that midsummer decision on his contract is probably more in play than something happening earlier in the year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah,
You guys got Eckler as top 5 back.
I have Eckler as like a top 3 back.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think he's special. I really hope I hope that the Chargers do trade him away. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be real good for us, huh?
Yeah, I don't want to see that dude.
No,
I really don't want to see him in a Kellen Moore offense for real.
Yeah, and I agree. Eckler obviously is going to take one of the teams that would be interested in a Zeke. It's going to take one of them off the table.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of which one. Because there's any time a player's available, just like this whole drama with Aaron Rodgers right now, which I am sick of hearing about. But there's only so many teams interested in a guy like that, right? And I mean, not that I'm comparing Zeke to Aaron Rodgers, but just there's only so many teams in the market for a veteran running back that is honestly at this stage in his career probably just a short yardage guy.
Oh, Zeke? Yeah.
Yeah, with Zeke.
Yeah.
I think you have – I'll tell you what, with Zeke, though, man, I think if he gets released, I think you'd have about half the league just seeing, hey, man, like feeling him out, like, what will you take? Because if you have Ezekiel Elliott as your 2, I think that's wonderful.
I think like
you don't want to be your feature, but as your two, yeah, I'll take him.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with teams that don't already have that 1-2 punch. You know, like Cleveland.
Right.
Cleveland already has it. It's whether Kareem wants to be traded out of there or not. Miami already has it. Philly already has it. Chicago kind of has it. You know, like teams you can rattle off already are in that position. Buffalo kind of already has it with James Cook and Devin Singletary up there, which, by the way, Dalvin Cook was granted permission to also seek trades. So there's rumors out there that he's on the blocks. It's just interesting. You know, it's an interesting time of the year to see, you know, who falls where. I think the most interesting thing of the day was there was 0 wide receiver movement on the first day of free agency.
Yeah,
last year, this is the time where Tyreek and Christian Kirk threw everything off for everybody. So I'm really surprised that on the first day there wasn't wide receiver movement.
Yeah. So obviously today being the first day, you know, let's go through some notable names that are kind of in new places. I'm interested, you know, the Buccaneers re-signing Jamal Dean, you know, at corner, kind of to shore up that spot. Although, yeah, I mean, it's a good move. We you know, he's familiar with the system, obviously been there. And, I mean, we've talked about that division so wide open, right? With nobody in that division, I mean, really has a quarterback. Obviously, Derek Carr, you know, is official with New Orleans now. So, I mean, I got to think that would make them the front runner.
Yeah. Speaking on that division, so, you know, on my drive home, there was rumors out there that Tampa could go after Baker as their
I saw that
as their follow up to Tom Brady. So that's another quarterback storyline that we probably weren't expecting. You know, with him going to LA last year, playing pretty good in his 2 or 3 games he played with him in the short amount of time, and now
all signs had kind of pointed to LA was going to bring him back, and then
now Tampa might be in the market for. Well, we already knew they were in the market for a quarterback, but they might be in the market, the Baker Mayfield market. So.
Yeah, is there any validity to the Tom Brady to Miami rumors?
I don't think so.
I was kind of doing some Googling on that today. I think it's like if you had to say like a percentage chance, it's like a 1 or 2% chance.
Yeah, because they just signed Mike White to a 2-year deal.
Yeah, that was the next free agent I was going to bring up. That's why I kind of threw it out there at that time.
Yeah, that just seems weird with Tua already there. You signed a backup quarterback. You're not going to make him your third string quarterback, paying him that much money.
No, and
not unless they want to move Tua.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, I think. I mean, I know Skylar Thompson, is on his rookie deal.
Oh, I forgot Skylar Thompson's down there too.
I mean, and he played well enough in that playoff game for you to not cut him, right? I mean,
yeah,
you've got to keep him around. He had to start a playoff game. He started, 2 or 3 other games in the regular season. So I get it's a business, but I think even from a business standpoint, he did enough to earn a roster spot.
Yeah. And even if, you know, quarterbacks like that, you know, they're expendable. You know, everybody talks about the second and third string quarterback, they're expendable. Maybe somebody liked what they saw. Mm-hmm. Maybe Houston makes a move. Maybe one of these other bottom dweller teams make a move. You know, what if Indianapolis makes that move?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think...
let's take a chance on this guy. He looked good in the big, you know,
the
lights are the brightest on that stage. And he looked good, so...
You know, I don't think me personally, I mean, he didn't show me enough that he's a full-time starter. But, again, some of these teams that are searching, you know, at least with a guy like him, you kind of have seen enough of the picture to know he can do it. You know, he can fill in some cracks.
Yeah, absolutely. Austin, you hit Jalen Ramsey moving on the head on our last show. I'd say that's the biggest bombshell so far of the free agent period, quote unquote free agent period, is Jalen Ramsey getting traded to Miami.
I think I think it was a good move for both teams because Rams needed cap. They need to fix their cap, and then Miami's got a ton of cap room. They made that. I thought that though when Miami turned Tyreek's bonus into the signing, turned his salary to signing bonus.
Yeah.
I thought that they were making room to get to trade for Slay, and then they end up trading for Jalen, and I'm like, holy smokes! You know, when you ask receivers around the league who their top hardest corner, like their toughest guy that covers them, a lot of guys say Jalen Ramsey. I still think he's a dynamic corner.
I don't know if he's a dynamic corner, but he is one of the more physical corners in the league.
Yeah, and I mean it's hard for these receivers to go against physical corners because especially now, you know, the NFL's trying to do everything they can to take physical corners out of the game. I mean, where you can't put hands on receivers. It'll be interesting to
see him be on a deep. Hey, that's a big Fangio down there, isn't it?
Yep. So I think I think it was a good move, like you said. Both teams. Obviously, the Rams are just trying to fix their money and their cap problems, but
unloading everybody.
Yeah. So next free agent, let's talk about Patrick Peterson.
I'm so tired of this guy too.
Signing with the Steelers.
You're 50, man. Stop this.
You're 50.
Stop this, man.
You're 50 years old. That's perfect to go to the Steelers.
Yeah, no kidding. So he can be a shell of himself, just like Ben Roethlisberger was last year.
Yeah.
God, man, you're 50, dude. Stop signing these one-year deals, man. We're tired of you.
Just go away.
Just go away.
Somebody want to take me?
I mean,
Steelers, yeah, sure. All right.
I mean, he was literally barbecue chicken last year in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I mean, I know that.
Y'all want to go to a contender. Well, that's not a contender. So he clearly saw the writing on the wall that, hey, his agent's calling around. No contender wants me. I got to make money somewhere.
Yeah, Pittsburgh looking for.
I mean, I would think, you kind of cut out there, but I would think Pittsburgh is the third best team in that division, depending on how things with Lamar shake out.
I think it's going to be. I think it's heavily dependent on how Kenny Pickett is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously. I know Joe Burrow, got beat by the Chiefs there late in the season. They finally got their win over him, but I mean that's the number one team in that division.
Yeah,
right. Depending on what happens with Lamar,
I still say yeah.
If Lamar's healthy last year, they probably, Baltimore probably has a better chance to win that division. But definitely without Lamar, I mean, there's no scenario in my mind where anybody with Cincinnati wins that division.
No, absolutely not.
Austin, you still there?
Yeah, I don't think so. And I think it's going to be Cincinnati because I don't see how Lamar goes back to Baltimore next year. I mean, they basically shown him that they don't want him.
I mean, absolutely.
I mean, they definitely, with putting the exclusive tag on him, they definitely are kind of calling his bluff, saying nobody else is going to pay you and give up 2 first-round picks to get you. So, we got you.
I don't think he plays.
I don't know if a guy like that can risk not playing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
he's his own dude. He's the only guy. He has no advice. He's his own agent, isn't he?
Yeah. It's like his mom or something represents him.
He's just gonna be like, yeah, I ain't playing. Then shoot.
I think that's how he kind of got in this position in the first place. Is he doesn't have, true representation.
Yeah, he doesn't have the person to create the narrative.
Yeah.
And that's what these best agents do.
I'll ask you a question about this. If you're the Jets, why don't you try to grab Lamar instead of waiting around for Rodgers?
Rodgers has a ring.
Really? I mean, is Rodgers? I don't think Rodgers is that great anymore.
I mean, I think it's more like what I talked about on the last show is Lamar relies so heavily on his legs, and he's had both of his last 2 seasons end due to lower body injuries. I think teams are scared to, mortgage that much of the future for a mobile quarterback that has had leg problems.
Yeah,
that's a huge factor in this situation. We hear it all the time with running backs. We hear it all the times with receivers. Like that's the biggest narrative around Juju right now. Well, he had the knee injury late in the year. Do we want to give him money? We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think Lamar, having both seasons end that way, and then I think he kind of wussed out on his team in the playoffs last year. I mean, he missed the last 8 weeks of the season.
It was something like that because I was listening to. It was either NFL or ESPN, but I think it was NFL because I think it was Ian Rappaport was talking about, December games the last 2 years. Out of 8 December games, he's played in like 2.
Yeah.
The last 2 years. And so
that's when you get paid.
Yeah.
You get paid in December and January and if you're lucky, February.
So I think that's partly why Baltimore's doing what they're doing. That, and I mean, you're absolutely right about he doesn't have an agent to battle the narrative that's going to come from Baltimore and the league, right? Mm-hmm. Because we all know everything that's getting out there is put out there by Baltimore and the NFL, which they're in business together. So, and he doesn't have, anybody that is their job to spin that his way.
Yeah. Like we're not in this situation if I don't get hurt, and I promise, I can't promise that I'll be healthy, but I can promise you I'm going to take every step to make sure that we are so that we can win that game in Cincinnati in the playoffs so that we can do this. I want to be a Raven for life. He doesn't have that person in his corner.
And it's not
we're watching Geno get paid. He has that person in his corner. Deshaun got paid. He's got that person in his corner.
And it's not just the fact that the agent negotiates the contract. I mean, like when you hire an agent, you have a whole team of people that's working for you.
Yes.
Like
marketing team, social media. It's
all that stuff. I mean, and so he doesn't have that by his own choice. And I think that's hurt him in this whole process.
Yep. Hey, people, and I know, Austin, you see a lot of my Facebook posts, people are arguing, collusion and all this other stuff. And why can't Lamar represent himself, or why do yada, yada, yada. I said, because it doesn't work for players that represent themselves.
No.
You have to be like Tom Brady didn't represent himself, and it's the best quarterback to ever step foot. Well, the most accomplished quarterback to step foot on the playing field. But I'm watching all these other quarterbacks who have representation. What kind of narrative could you create for Call of Duty Murray in Arizona to get him that much money?
Because that's the one I can't believe that has gotten paid.
It's the representation.
Even Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he's out there getting massages
and
whatnot, and they done gave him everything, including a massage parlor up there in Cleveland.
Yeah, and we have a former MVP not getting paid.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I know it's easy to, lately the comparisons that me and Gritty, I've seen Gritty do it, and I kind of copied it on the Cousins comparison.
He's Kirk Cousins.
He's
Kirk Cousins.
But Kirk Cousins got paid too.
Actually, Kirk Cousins over the last 2 years has better stats.
Yes, and
has better,
in the league,
better everything except for rushing yards.
Yep. And Austin, what is this league? This league is what have you done for me lately?
Yep. It's what have you done for me lately? Yeah.
And lately, it looks like you've given up on your team 2 years in a row.
Somebody should take a flyer on this dude. I mean, it's not a flyer, but somebody should go for it.
The thing is,
I don't know who it's going to be.
Who, what team, other than the Jets, who's waiting on Aaron Rodgers' decision, is going to trade, because they have to trade 2 first-round picks.
Nobody.
And you have to pay him still.
Nobody. He's stuck.
I think that's where I'm saying Baltimore has called the bluff.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take 2 first-round picks. Because that team has to give them up, and they have to pay you.
Yep.
And still form a team.
If I'm Lamar, I walk into the Baltimore organization tomorrow, and I put my foot down, I guess I'd approach them in this way. Give me the opportunity to show you what I can do again, because I haven't been healthy since the MVP season. Let me get the Kirk Cousins 1-year deals.
Yeah.
Let me get $40 million a year for one. Let me get $40 million this year for 1 year. If you need to, make it incentive laden,
Yeah.
And let's see what happens.
And bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself, because he's already done that with not having a representative.
I'll say his best course of action is to go get a freaking agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get this deal done.
Okay, so what do you? Okay, so after all that stuff, what do you guys actually think happens?
I mean, we said it last week. I think he's stuck in Baltimore.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think anybody's.
You guys think he plays?
I do.
He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't have a choice.
I could see him holding out till like a week 6 or something like that.
See, I don't think he's gonna.
You hold out, that puts a real bad narrative out there.
And
so if he waits, okay, so yeah, if he actually goes out and plays, it puts a bad light on Baltimore.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
right?
But I think he'll play.
And he balls out. He's like, man, Baltimore didn't want me, so I'm gonna go show the league what I got.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then,
you better hope you're right.
Yep.
Hey.
So another big free agent signing today. Tremaine Edmonds
called it.
Going to the Bears. Yeah, Gritty, you had talked about this one. He got $50 million guaranteed. 4 years, $72 million deal. So, do you think that's worth every penny?
I think it's a problem for the league going forward, and I think this presents a problem for the Chiefs in 18 months.
Okay.
Tremaine Edmonds is one of the better linebackers in the league.
Yep.
Nick Bolton is one of the better linebackers in the league. You also have Willie Gay. Both of those guys' contracts are going to come up relatively the same time. So, looking at this number, I'd say take 5 to 8, maybe $5 to $10 million off of that, and that's what you're going to have to pay both of those linebackers if you want both of them.
Yeah, and we're going to probably end up keep Bolton.
Yep, keep Bolton, lose Willie Gay, which
sucks
to say. Sucks to say, sucks to think about.
Yeah, I mean, you can't keep everybody.
No, and we're seeing that in Cincy right now,
yeah.
And Philly. They're getting picked. They're getting picked clean.
Buffalo losing this dude is a huge deal for them. That's huge.
Their second level took an absolute grenade today.
Well, I mean, and they've lost their coordinator now.
Yep.
I'm telling you, if the Jets, Gary, you said it good the other day. If the Jets get a quarterback, I don't think they easily win the division. I think Miami's the better team in that division right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jets with Rodgers win, depending on what mood Rodgers is in. I guess I don't know. But anyways, back to this linebacker, man. I saw some of the details of this contract. It's front loaded.
Oh, so they can get rid of him in a couple years if it doesn't work out.
And they can do that. And also because they're front loading stuff right now because they have so much cap room this year that they can afford to front load, and then the next year they can reload up again.
Yeah.
This dude, what's the GM's name there?
Ryan Poles.
And he's a Kansas City guy.
And he's starting to do.
He sat here and watched Brett Veach.
Did you hold on? We talking about Jalen Ramsey. Did you see the ultimate finesse, which I think might be the best finesse of the offseason, period, no matter what happens going forward?
What's that?
Finesse that he did to Carolina to get that first overall pick out of there.
Oh, yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool, and DJ Moore. So essentially, you done traded, Carolina done got, what? They sent you two first-round picks and DJ Moore.
A first round, 2 seconds, and
DJ Moore. So 2 firsts and 2 seconds, essentially. Was DJ Moore a first-round pick or a second-round pick?
I'm
not sure what he was. But essentially, you either got 2 1s and 2 2s, or you got a 1 and 3 2s. And, what we've been talking about with Orlando Brown, supposedly the report is the Bears are going to
First
outbid
round.
everybody. So they got 2 first-round picks because DJ Moore was a first-round receiver
In 2018.
and got 2 second-round picks out of the deal.
Yep.
That is incredible.
Yeah. So
That
They
is
signed,
incredible.
the Bears have already signed, I think, 2 offensive linemen.
yeah, the Bears, they did sign a guard. I had it pulled up here.
Nate Davis.
Nate Davis, yep.
Davis.
Yep.
3-year deal. I don't have the financials on that, but
Not all of them have come out yet because
Yeah.
the league year isn't technically open until Wednesday.
so, and then they also, oh no, that's the Browns, keeping their center.
That's huge, getting Von Bell.
Yeah, Von Bell to Carolina.
That's huge for Kansas City fans because if we think Cincinnati is who they say they are, that's a huge loss for them.
Dolphins, Mike White. All right, let's get to the Chiefs. The Chiefs' big signing today, Jawan Taylor.
I like it. My barber, I think he put it best. Brett Veach has put the blueprint out for how he's going to attack every offseason. Right? I want to be young. I don't want to get anybody that's going to be pushing 30 or over, unless it's like a pre-camp signing or in-camp signing. So what's my goal? Be young and be cheaper, right? We got younger with signing Jawan Taylor because supposedly, we offered Orlando Brown somewhere in like the $136 million range last year. And supposedly he was asking for 100 plus again this year. So we got cheaper, we got younger, and ultimately we got better. He had a 2.5% pressure rate last year, whereas both of our tackles had almost 7%. So I think ultimately, yeah, we got better. Is he a little bit of a project in the run game? Yeah. But that's why you also you try to bring back McKinnon. Pacheco was looking pretty good in the
I'll say,
pass
good thing
pro.
we don't run the ball that much.
Right, exactly. All I need you to do is be a wall and keep those guys off of Pat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen what Mahomes can do when, he has a good O-line in front of him. So,
and they're saying that they're not done, like they're not done at the tackle position.
yeah, and that deal, it's being reported that it's a 4-year, $80 million deal. So,
Yeah.
I mean, $20 million a year.
It's essentially like 14 because you have to factor in the signing bonus in that too,
Yeah.
which is guaranteed money right off the top. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I think it's a heck of a deal. And the parameters of that deal, I have it right here. So, Jawan Taylor's deal, this is from Field Yates. Jawan Taylor's deal with the Chiefs is quite straightforward. Signing bonus was 18.9. His 2023 base salary is 1.08.
Oh, wow.
His 2023 workout bonus is $20,000.
I mean, that's essentially nothing.
Yeah, between 24 and 26, his annual base salary is $19.5, and his annual workout bonus is $500,000. He earns $20 million in cash each year from Kansas City. That is Brett Veach, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That is Brett Veach to a T. I'm going to give you what you want, but in return, we have to work this out so that I get what I want and what our organization needs, and you can get a ring.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I mean, Kansas City, I would say at least, barring a catastrophic event, for at least the next 5 to 8 years, are in the conversation every year of winning the whole thing.
You'll be able to like the telltale sign is when we start losing guys and not really replacing them with younger guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll see some of these teams that the Rams are going through right now where they're having a hard time. Like, oh, we lost Von Miller. Well, instead of replacing him with a younger guy, let's go get Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
And then have to unload him after a year.
And then have to unload him after a year. Let's have to unload Jalen Ramsey, and oops, we can't sign him. I mean, they may get somebody in free agency. They may go for Darius Slay. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, oh, okay. But, because they did the same thing when they got Marcus Peters and flipped it over and grabbed Jalen.
Yeah.
But, but yeah, it's a big sign of a good team or a good to great team is they replace those young guys, they replace the guys that are getting older with young guys, and so I'm not even concerned. Like I read news about the Chiefs free agency, and I just go, sweet. I already know it's a good move. I don't even have to look at nothing. I already know it's a good move.
Yeah, I mean, you have to trust Veach's track record. Like
absolutely.
And
100%.
I mean, let's not overlook the fact of Andy Reid being in this league for 30-plus years and seeing how great teams have been built and what great teams do to sustain. Yeah. I mean, people forget, went to 4 straight NFC Championship games in Philly. Now,
and they kind of sold the bag.
Yeah.
For that to happen. And Andy was like, you know what? If I ever get in this position again, we're not just gonna, whoever my GM is, we're not just gonna sell out for the ring, right? Because we've seen teams do that even now.
Yeah, I mean that's how the Rams got theirs, right?
Which it worked. Absolutely.
For LA.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Tampa Bay. I mean, they kind of went all in on Tom Brady.
It worked,
and it worked. You got him a ring.
It didn't work.
Not multiple, but it got him one.
Philly, it didn't work.
It almost worked.
It almost worked.
Yeah, I don't think Philly's all in yet.
Oh God! Yes, they were.
I thought they did a pretty good job moving past Carson Wentz and grabbing Jalen.
I mean, yeah, but you really went all in on your defense. You kind of went all in trading for A.J. Brown last year. And you're kind of
that's still a good move. That's still a good move.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely it is. But it still does. I mean, Jalen Ramsey was a good move for the Rams too.
Yeah.
But that's still. I mean, they still went all in, and then, you kind of got lucky with your running back situation and Jalen being on a rookie deal, but your offensive line was all in.
Yeah. Which Jason Kelce did announce today that he'd be back.
Yep, which is
also,
good.
Which is good for Philly.
I think it'd be cool if we could find a way to trade for him so they could play together.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
But, I mean, you're really young.
You don't know how to do nothing but play center.
Yeah, I know. I understand. But that thing would just be cool.
It will be cool. I'll tell you what, watch out for the Bears they're going to be copying that exact same format that we're doing.
100%.
Oh,
Ryan Poles has already started it. I got this first-round pick. I don't really need it.
Well,
I'm going to unload it, and we're going to get a lot of picks back.
We don't know what the Packers have with Jordan Love if Aaron Rodgers does, in fact, agree to go to the Jets. We don't know what the Packers have. Minnesota, I mean, we know what we have with Kirk Cousins, right? He can't win unless he's playing at noon on Sundays. So, I mean, who says the Bears can't win that division next year?
Who says Detroit can't win that division next year?
Yeah, absolutely. Detroit, I mean, they were one game out of the playoffs this year.
I mean, I think Detroit is a top-end corner away, which is why I think, like, Darius Slay is in the picture up there. I like that. I think there's other guys like who was the guy that Miami just released? Byron.
Oh yeah,
Pringle.
No, not Pringle. I can't think of his name right now because there's been so many names going around. Maybe they're in on him as well. There's a lot of DBs out there the teams could be looking to unload for easy cap maneuvering. So. Really, Detroit got beat up on one side last year, and it was just that
Byron Jones.
Byron Jones, that's who it is. They got beat up on one side, so I think if you can bring in like a Darius Slay who can kind of lock down one side of the field, or a Byron Jones who's much slower than it used to be, maybe Detroit wins that division.
Yeah,
they can score with the best of them.
They could. I mean,
and I was thinking too about we're talking about like general managers and stuff like that. You know who does a really good job is John Lynch in San Francisco.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he kills it, man.
Oh my! They just signed Hargrave today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. They think about how many running backs they've moved through, and their running game is still killer.
Okay, so
of course they got McCaffrey, but like it was a killer running game before they got McCaffrey.
They had Raheem Mostert, Matt Breida, Jeff Wilson, Jerick McKinnon.
They move past all those guys.
Gosh.
And their running game's still nasty.
Speaking of San Francisco, Jimmy G today signed with the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Does that scare Chiefs fans at all?
Absolutely not.
Very scary. I'm very scared.
I mean, the guy has won, but
he's a winner.
I mean, the Raiders are just like, I don't know, like they're just so dysfunctional in my mind.
I wish there was a way that we could package like next year's first and maybe the year after that's first, and we can go get Max Crosby.
Oh man, okay, let's do it.
I would do that.
I would say this. Do you guys? I mean, what do you guys? Is Jimmy G that much of an upgrade over Derek Carr?
No, I saw somebody say he's Italian Derek Carr today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think quarterback was the problem, and
it's the coach, man. I think it's the coach.
It's the organization.
Like I honestly think Derek Carr is the only reason the Raiders have won the games they have over the last 8 years.
Except for the game this past year with the Patriots doing the whole hook and ladders thing, you know.
Yeah,
dude, don't remind me, man. I got burned on that.
I did too. I had a bet on that. That cost me.
I was watching that down in a restaurant in Houston, Gilhooey's, down there eating some oysters. And that happened. It makes your food just not taste that good.
Yeah.
Watching the Raiders win a game that way. You know.
Yeah.
That was stupid. I mean, I was like, that had to be like the worst play I've ever seen.
Yeah. So, any other free agents you guys want to hit on before we move on and talk a little XFL?
I'll be curious to see where Juju ends up, and I'm curious to see where Odell and Michael Thomas end up.
Michael Thomas is going to stay.
Yeah, I think Michael Thomas will stay in New Orleans also. Now
that'd be good.
The quarterback
I think that'd be good for Carr.
Now the quarterback situation's cool down there. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of movement in the there was zero movement in the wide receiver market today. Mm-hmm. So hopefully the wide receiver market has corrected itself. If it has, Juju will be a Chief.
Yeah, I say, who's your top free agent receivers? What? It's probably
it's Odell.
It's probably homeboy from that played on New England last year,
right?
Let's see.
I can't get the name right.
Hold on. Yeah,
Marcus.
Hang on, let me look it up, man.
I can't get the name
right.
Jacoby Myers. That's what it is. That's who he is.
I think he's a beast. I think he'd be a beast with a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
So your tops are Juju, Myers, McCole, OBJ.
I mean, it's not that many guys.
No, and I don't know.
Adam Thielen.
Ooh,
I've never been a huge fan of OBJ.
He sure looked good in red. I think red makes a skin tone pop.
Who?
Adam Thielen.
Give me Juju and him. I'm cool.
Can you see? I was talking with somebody today, and if the market has corrected itself, and you can, I truly think that you could get Thielen and Juju for $20 million between the two of them.
Maybe.
I mean, Thielen just was just released for $13 million a year.
Yeah.
And Juju's market says, the Spot Track market says 14.6. But if the market has corrected itself, then 14.6 isn't realistic.
We'll see what happens when
I think that's McColl's range now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, would you rather take McColl back or would you take Adam?
Oh, I'm probably going to take Thielen because every year Veach does spend kind of on that veteran guy. You know, one time. Okay, here's your 1 year, here's your 2 year deal. You know, yeah. I think it just might be time for him to do that at the receiver position, or maybe that was Juju last year.
Yeah,
I'd be more than happy. I would actually be, if we end up with Myers, I'd be pumped. I don't know what that contract looks like though. I don't know.
Yeah, with the way the market was last year, you just don't know.
I think Jacoby Myers he's big and he's built. Now, hey, what about just what do you guys think? You guys think anybody trades for Brandon Cooks?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
His contract is horrible.
Yeah, I don't. No.
Well, just like much of everything that's in Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if the Bears have $130 million of cap space, they might just say, "Hey, what the heck? I'm just going to do it,"
and bail a team out.
And Brandon Cooks will be my number 3 receiver, sure.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Yeah, I'd be your 4.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not bad.
I don't think Houston's getting out of that one.
No, I don't think anybody's going to let him out.
No, I don't either. So XFL last weekend. I will say I did not watch as closely this weekend as I have. But
it's because you got Vegas on the horizon.
Yeah. But I was still watching.
St. Louis put on a show.
Yes,
yesterday.
They did. And the Dome, I think it 38,000.
38,000.
Yeah, packed out, man. I had a -4.
Yeah, I had a -4 also, so I hit that one.
Yeah, no, I thought it was an excellent showing by St. Louis down there, and they the best thing that I heard on the broadcast was when they were saying F Kroenke.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I can kind of get behind this team now.
Yeah.
But in reality, I said this yesterday after I saw it. That's not a Stan Kroenke problem.
No,
your fans didn't show up.
Problem.
Your fans didn't show up.
Well, I will in defense, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this in defense of St. Louis.
Ugh.
That dome.
Come on, Gary.
That dome is pretty bad. They needed a new venue, and the city didn't want to do their part.
Again, they vote on it.
Yeah.
The fans, the people
And
in
they
the
said
city
no,
are the
yeah.
fans. They said no. Stan Kroenke told them if they said no, I'm
out.
moving the team. I don't know where it's going. I'm moving, and now he has the best stadium in the NFL.
Yeah.
If not the second best stadium in the NFL, next to Mercedes-Benz down in Atlanta.
And I'm telling you, I toured so far
that might be the best
last year.
stadium in the United States.
You say that again, Austin?
That might be the best stadium in the United States.
Oh, by
Yeah.
far.
I mean, when I toured it, it was amazing. I mean, everything about it. It shows you how, because obviously I go to Arrowhead at least once a year, but it just shows you how outdated everything at Arrowhead is.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock to Arrowhead. I know we love Arrowhead, but it's old.
It is.
And it needs a lot of improvements.
Which is why they're talking about building a brand new stadium.
Yeah, to bring it into this age of football.
Yeah.
But keeping some of the things that make Arrowhead special.
They don't want to change they don't want to have to rebuild the stadium because of how close you can sit to the field. And that brings in the noise factor, that brings in the home field advantage that Arrowhead's known for. And the way the stadium is constructed is all the seats actually point down to the stadium.
Yeah.
To point down to the field. So all the noise gets down on the field and just doesn't have anywhere to go. Mm-hmm. And if they rebuild it, now it has to be engineered to the right specs, kind of like all these other new stadiums are being built. And that kind of takes away the home field advantage a little bit.
Back to the, it really wasn't Stan Kroenke. It was, you're right, the people of St. Louis that said, we're not helping fund this deal. And so, now he's got one of the best venues in all of sports and entertainment. They're getting ready to host a WrestleMania, which, say what you want to, that's an event every year.
Yeah.
It's a huge event. But you had this last weekend, you had Houston at Orlando. Houston just beat them like a drum. Orlando's not very good. Paxton Lynch.
Houston is good.
Houston is good, but Orlando's really bad.
Yeah.
Paxton Lynch is terrible. I don't know how they're still playing the guy. I can't. These coaches that are watching practice every day can't look at the guy behind him and go, "Yeah, Paxton's still better."
Paxton
was
was
bad.
bad in the NFL.
Yeah.
He was bad in the XFL. Paxton, it's time, bud.
Yeah.
Hey,
This will
guys,
probably be it for him.
Guys, while we're guys, real quick while we're chatting, Jamie has just signed a 1-year, $8 million deal with the Saints.
Oh, Jamius did.
Yeah, so he's
That's
he's back
surprising.
with the Saints, baby.
That surprises me.
He must just be happy to be. I mean, he must just really like the coaching staff and say, "What the heck, man? I'll play behind Derek Carr and get $8 million bucks."
Right.
Yeah.
I bet he doesn't get that full $8 million. It's worth up to $8 million. So
Okay, so it's probably a little less.
Cardinals defensive end Zach Allen is finalizing a deal with the Denver Broncos. That's kind of a scratch your head move a little bit. Yep, there's Jameis right there.
Yep.
1 for 8.
I love Jameis, man.
Like, does Jameis think that turns into a starting job at some point?
I don't know. Either that or he's just like, yo, I love living in New Orleans.
Yo, I'm Chase. Hey, I like living in New Orleans with these crab legs I ain't got to steal.
Yeah.
Dude, hey, you guys that we're laughing, that might be the truth, man.
Hey, it might be. You know, and who knows? I'm sure his agent, was feeling out other teams. Maybe that's the best offer he got.
I love Jameis, man.
Yeah.
I think as a gunslinger, he's kind of crazy and funny. I love Jameis.
Yeah.
Other XFL action. San Antonio was at Seattle.
Linebacker Eric Kendricks from the former of the Vikings is signing with the Chargers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That's the bad thing about doing a show during free agency.
Yeah,
is everything
stuff's
just
breaking. Stuff's breaking. No, we're good. Seattle, I thought, kind of put on a show again. Ben DiNucci.
Oh, man.
He's a fun player to watch.
You know what? 5 weeks in, the halfway mark is this week coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know if I have a favorite.
Yeah.
Like who I'm going to pick. Like, I think I'm a Battlehawks fan just because it's St. Louis. They're fun to watch. But then again, like I watch DC. And I find myself encapsulated with the game because I want to see how long the snake gets.
Yeah, that definitely is true. That big snake in DC.
I just watch to see when it goes to commercials, so when they come back, they put the snake up there.
Yeah.
Which team did the double pass?
Oh,
that was Houston.
That was Houston. The double pass.
Yeah.
As long as you pass it behind the line of scrimmage,
you can throw it forward again. Yes.
Wow.
I love that play. I'm like, man, not a lot of teams run that. Like I thought it was like ran to perfection.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got Wade Phillips. We talked about it before, but Wade Phillips is your head coach down there. I mean, he's a guy that obviously was around the NFL his whole life.
That Zach Allen deal is 3 years, $45.75.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
St. Louis put on a show, and then, obviously DC. I think DC and Houston are definitely your best teams right now. They're the two undefeated teams. DC has that win over St. Louis, which is their only loss. But next week...
Which that was a heck of a game.
That was. Next week, we get DC at St. Louis again.
Oh.
So a second matchup.
They're going to start out WWE in it?
Yeah. It's week 5. So
they're going to start out WWE in it like they ended last week?
Yeah. I guess so.
You know what? You beat us, but if we beat the hell out of you, we win.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man. Does it feel? I can't put my finger on it. Does it feel more polished this time around?
Oh, for sure.
Big time.
So week 6, we get Houston at DC. Right now, those are your top 2 teams. Ooh. That's a Monday night game.
Oh, is it on ESPN also?
ESPN 2.
Ooh.
Monday night game, March 27th.
Ooh.
So that's one I'm definitely going to be tuning in. Will DC make it 2 more weeks undefeated? Will Houston make it 2 more weeks undefeated?
If they do, I cannot wait to see the ratings on that game.
No, that's week 6. Excuse me. So that's a week.
Also, all they got to do is win this week.
Yeah, and DC is at St. Louis.
Ooh.
Okay, which we talked about was a great game before. Houston is at Seattle.
Do they sell 38,000 tickets again?
I think so.
Or do they sell more?
I think they can sell more. Personally.
That is, man, 38,000 tickets. The DC fans are absolutely crazy. They could probably sell 45,000 tickets to that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome, man. And they had I was watching that part of that broadcast, and they posted, like, the snake rules up there. And basically what DC did was they said, all right, we're going to come up with specific rules. Like, the snake has to be between, like, certain sections and all this other stuff. It's cool, man. I mean, the XFL is cool.
See, and I don't mind that because, the first week they took it away from them or whatever, and fans got mad. So then, yeah, hey, let's let them have it, but let's put some stipulations on it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me
let
too,
them have
man.
fun.
I think it's good.
Hey, they just couldn't let them have them lemons no more.
Yeah, because they were chucking them on the field. So,
I'm super stoked to go down there for the Week 10 game that we're going to go see.
Yeah, Week 10 we're going. We just had Week 4. Got Week 5 coming up. We'll be in Vegas. They play Orlando, though. Paxton Lynch. Do we really want to go see Paxton Lynch? Probably not.
Only if I got money on the game.
There's the toilet bowl of the week.
Yeah. And San Antonio's not been very good either.
Do any of them have a win yet?
Orlando is over. I know. I think
Vegas is over. I think Vegas is over.
Are they?
Because they lost this week.
I'm betting on the Vipers, baby.
Oh, God. I can see you guys down there drinking martinis and...
Oh, we ain't drinking no martinis. Come on, man.
Hey, pinkies in the air, betting on the...
Yeah.
Betting on the unwinning game.
0-4 versus 0-4.
That's a perfect game for us to bet on.
Yeah.
It's going to be 6-3. Oh, I lied.
I'm thinking, I'm just riding. I'm going to ride with the home. Give me the whatever. I don't know what's the line.
The line.
I'm looking it up.
Hey,
the
over under is 4.5.
Yeah. Let's see here, man. XFL. Where are you?
That game's going to be horrible. Don't waste your time going to watch that game.
Yeah, there's probably better stuff to do in Vegas.
Honestly, I'll probably still, even though I'm not going, I'll probably still bet on it, though.
Oh, I will bet on it.
That game's going to be $1.75 to get in.
Vegas did score 26 week 3.
Hey, Orlando and Vegas. The line is Vegas favored 7.5.
7.5?
That's a
Paxton
lot.
Lynch is terrible.
So they have that little faith in Paxton Lynch that a team that's defeated is going to beat you by more than a touchdown?
Vegas minus 7.5.
Wow.
Over under 42.
Oh.
I'll take the under.
Hey, give me Orlando and the under.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
That's rough.
42? No shot.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Last week, did anybody get to 42? Let's see. DC and Vegas. Let's see. They had 50.
They had 50.
Yeah.
36 in that game, the St. Louis game.
St. Louis game was 36. Seattle and San Antonio was 21.
Good Lord.
And then Houston had 44 by themselves.
Yeah, they beat
Orlando.
They beat the hell out of Orlando. Well, it's 44-16, so
Yeah.
60? Ooh.
60.
That's a big game. 60.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, I don't know. I mean, I'll definitely bet on it, especially since we're in Vegas. I'll throw some money down.
Yeah, no, I think the XFL has been doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it to continue.
All right. We are right about 54 minutes. Anything else you guys want to hit on before we wrap up?
The World Baseball Classic is way better than anything the MLB has ever presented in the last 50 years.
Is it? I haven't watched a second of it.
Listen, man, I find myself staying up until midnight, 1 o'clock every night on accident because it's so entertaining. Like, they bring the soccer atmosphere to a baseball game. Like, I know we're here in Kansas City, we're watching all our Royals players, right? MJ Melendez, Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, Nicky Lopez. We watched Brady Singer get absolutely...
Oh, Singer got destroyed.
Oh, yeah, he got absolutely demolished last night. Brady Singer looked like the child that you put in timeout and then you continue to yell at.
Yeah.
You know, they start shaking and the eyes start watering up. And, I mean, he crumbled last night. Those Mexico fans was absolutely letting him have it.
What I don't get, I mean, the one thing I've seen really about the World Baseball Classic was online. People were giving Great Britain a terrible time about them uniforms. Because they literally just said, like, Great Britain on it. That was it. Like, no other design.
They're
and
garbage.
the way they were printed, like, it wasn't even all on one side. It was like, you could see the divide where they got a button of jersey.
It was garbage.
And I'm not a uniform
Have you seen
snob. But I saw the picture.
Oh, they're garbage.
Yeah, I'm not a uniform snob by any means, but I saw those and was like, no way.
See, like, it's so cool, like, seeing all these guys, because, like, these other countries play, and they're, like, AA players and AAA players, and maybe they're plumbers, you know, for their actual job. You know, like the Aussie team has a plumber that pitches for them. You know, you get to see all these different walks of life come and play against each other. And it's just super cool, man. Like, I wish they would do the World Baseball Classic every year.
I saw I actually have not watched the game. I just watched highlights. But my favorite highlight so far is Ohtani hitting that bomb.
Oh my God! Listen, Shohei Ohtani is an international superstar.
Dude, he got all of that ball.
He is. I can't believe it stayed in the dome. I thought he was going to hit it through the roof.
You know, they whoever, I saw another clip. Whoever caught the crowd, they passed that ball back to an attendant so they could give it to him.
Gary, did you see that?
I did not see that.
So Shohei hits an absolute mammoth bomb. Mm-hmm. Exit velo like 118 off the bat, just an absolute rocket.
Yeah.
And the fan caught the ball, took a picture with it, and then started passing it around. Real, you know, if this was America, they'd have been jumping on each other.
Yeah.
No, he caught the ball and then just nice and politely passed it around to everybody, and everybody took a picture of the ball and with the ball, and then they just passed it down to the next guy and passed it down to the next lady and passed it down to the next kid.
Dang, that's awesome.
And then ended up giving them the ball back.
That's awesome.
I said, oh, man, international baseball's so crazy. I watched USA and Mexico last night. Obviously, I was watching Brady Singer get demolished.
Yeah.
And the guys behind the plate in the field level suite, I mean, the entire game they were so animated. The people just to the left of them were sitting in the front row with Chihuahua, the city of Chihuahua, mm-hmm. Their signs and sombreros and Team Mexico. This dude, 30 years old, playing AAA baseball, has never gotten his chance. Hit 2 bombs in a game and a double against Team USA. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, it is.
That's huge. And he backflips. He almost throws it over the backstop. He threw it so high and so far. He comes and crosses the plate. They put a sombrero on him, and they start dancing and doing all that stuff. I'm like, that is what brings attention to baseball.
Yeah, I was talking to my barber this week about baseball's got to do something to bring fans back.
Well, I know it's not. The World Baseball Classic, every venue has been sold out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying Major League Baseball is not doing what they need to get
absolutely not
fans in.
Absolutely not.
That pitch clock helps a lot.
Well,
will help.
I mean, not really. Like, I don't feel that way, but it's probably just because the World Baseball Classic only comes every 2 years.
Well, I mean, I think it's the desired effect of shortening games is good. Is a good start.
Oh, absolutely. But I think, being in the baseball world, it's not so much this pace of the game that drives people away. There's no entertainment. There's no entertainment value to it. And what you're seeing with the World Baseball Classic is the entertainment value. Like, there is no pitch clock. Like, these games are going for 3 hours and 45 minutes. But they're sold out. They're packed from the first inning to the last inning.
And maybe as Americans, like we're just spoiled because we get so much live sports.
That's true. That
You
could
know,
be true.
whereas in these other countries, you know, they don't have as many options.
Right.
Yeah, that could be it.
Like we're watching Puerto Rico right now, and that's Edwin Diaz. That's Timmy Trumpets. So we're watching Puerto Rico and Israel right now. Ain't no fans from Israel here
Yeah.
in Miami.
Is that where they're playing this?
Yeah,
Miami?
they're playing in Miami. I think that's Miami. I'm pretty sure that's in Miami. Yeah.
Yeah.
They played all the Latin teams, well, all the Caribbean teams
in Miami.
in Miami
Okay.
for the first round. And I actually think, this is going to be a spread. So they have spreads, which I think they should bring back to Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I actually think it might be 7 after 7, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, this game's over.
Oh, because it's 9-0 in the 7th?
Maybe. I wish they would bring in like spreads, just because like that's part of that entertainment factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
If a team's up 10,
this game sucks. Let's finish it up.
thank you. If a team's
Yeah,
up
let's get outta
10,
here.
end it. It saves injury risk.
Yep.
It saves the fact that the players kind of shut it out unless
Well,
you're
'cause
racing for something.
And that's when, too, like, you know, some of your major league managers will bring in a guy to pitch that he knows he's never going to throw.
Right.
Like, they'll bring in an outfielder to pitch for that day.
Right.
Like,
What's the point?
Because it's 10-0. Like,
And I mean, like, there's instances where it's kind of cool, like they did it with Albert last year, Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
Well, he's leaving
That's
the
a
league.
special player.
And his dream was always to pitch in the major leagues.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. And then Alex Gordon is another guy. Mm-hmm. You know, Alex Gordon always wanted to pitch. So the Royals let him pitch in his last year. You know, that type of stuff is understandable. But if it's game 30,
yeah.
I don't need to see Mookie Betts come in to pitch.
No, and it's 110 degrees.
No,
and the
man.
sun's beating down on you. Like,
Listen, they beating the hell out of us. It's 18-0. It's 18-2.
Let's get the hell
Let's
outta
get
here.
up out of here, bro. Ain't nothing but 200 people in here anyway.
yeah.
There's more people working this game than there are fans.
Yeah.
That's an issue for Major League Baseball.
Yeah. I mean, especially here in Kansas City, where, and we love our Royals, but when they're bad, like those day games,
Oh,
those
God.
1 o'clock games on Sundays, nobody goes to those
No.
because it's
Why
100
would you
degrees
want-
outside.
Yeah, why would you want to go out and sit in 100-degree weather?
Yeah, like I can go to, you know, a bar and have it on the TV and kind of be watching it and not be paying $12 a drink.
And having a good time.
Yeah,
I can be looking at the TV and be like, well, I knew that was going to happen.
yeah. I mean,
Like I try to go to like 3 or 4 games a year,
yeah,
you know, and I don't go to any games in the summer.
mm-hmm.
Because I'm not spending my money to go out there and absolutely get cooked.
Yeah,
You know, and then get cooked on the scoreboard so people can laugh at me.
yeah.
I can't believe you went to a Royals game. Sorry, man. I just wanted to get a nice tan for the weekend.
So yeah, World Baseball Classic. So check it out. We just flipped it on. I forget it's on. Just not being a big baseball.
They
guy.
play late. They play late. Like, they don't play any games, like, during the day because they play them so that their home countries can watch.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, they play it. The schedule's really weird, but they play it so that their home countries can watch. So, like, teams that, like, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, those types of teams, Mexico, that are following our time zones and stuff, those games play kind of normal times. But Israel, Italy, China, Taipei, Japan, they play those games kind of at odd-end times just because, you know, it's a 24-hour difference
Yeah, yeah.
in some of our times. So, no, it's absolutely. I think here in the next couple of weeks when it narrows down teams, that'd be real entertaining.
So yeah, Canada versus U.S. starts at 9 o'clock.
And the way the United States played last night, that could be a mauling too.
Yeah, I may actually stay up and watch it because I'm trying to flip my schedule a little bit for Vegas, so I can stay up late.
You go to bed early?
No, I'm going to bed late.
Yep.
He's planning on the party.
Oh, one more thing, guys. Let's pick a couple teams that you think could go win this tournament, man.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to the tournament. Obviously, I mean, no shock here. I'm going to say Kansas.
They got a hard draw, man.
They did get a hard draw.
Oh my god!
But
Yeah,
they
their
went from
bracket
being the
is
number one
brutal.
overall seed to the juggernaut of a draw.
Yeah. You know, I'm as an Iowa fan, it kills me to say this. I would be shocked if they get out of the first weekend.
Iowa?
Yeah. Iowa State has played so erratic. You know, and you know, Austin.
Which, by the way, they tried to do something down at the Big 12 tournament.
Well, they always do, but freaking.
And the women won.
The women, Iowa State women, yeah. But yeah, Iowa State, I cannot figure them out to save my life. If I bet on them, they play like crap. If I bet against them,
they win by 100.
They win. So I'm not. That is one game this weekend. I will not bet on Iowa State. Whatever day they play, not betting on them.
Bet against them.
I'm not betting against them either. I'm not betting that game.
He's staying away from the game.
Yeah. But, you know, I would like to say that Iowa can make a run, but I don't think they can. I think Kansas can. I don't think Houston can. I think
Houston's a fraud.
Kind of benefits from playing in a weaker conference.
They play in the Conference USA, right?
Yeah. You know, so they're playing.
And then they got blown out by Memphis.
They're playing a Memphis team. That was the third time they had played. You know, they play SMU, those type teams like
basketball powerhouses, man.
Yeah. So I don't. You know, Houston obviously one of your other one seeds. I don't think, I don't think any Big Ten team gets to the Final Four. Either. I think it'll be
Big 12 team doesn't make it.
No, Big Ten.
Oh, Big Ten team.
I think your Final Four. I think the SEC has a better chance to get there than the Big Ten.
I don't know.
UCLA is another team I'm really
Purdue.
interested to see.
So who are your two teams to watch? Kansas and UCLA?
Kansas and UCLA, yeah. I know, I'm really digging deep there.
I think for me, I ranked the draws. Let's look at the local teams first. I ranked the draws. Kansas has the worst draw. I think Missouri has a tough draw, and I think K-State has the easiest draw, being the 3 seed in their region. But I do like it's like 2,300 to 1 that all 3 of the local teams make it to the second weekend. And the only thing that's keeping me back from putting anything on that is Kansas's draw. I mean, they win. They're going to beat the crap out of Howard.
Yeah.
And they turn around and they have to play 2 absolutely physical teams. One team is going to have 2 lottery picks. They either have to play Arkansas or Illinois for their round of 32 game, which is, wow. You turn around and play 2 of the more physical teams in the country.
And I will say this, too, with Kansas. You know, Bill Self having some stints put in last week. They still haven't said that he's going to be coaching.
Yeah.
So.
Which that's a huge factor.
It is. Like, not so much on game day, I don't think, but the practices leading up to it.
Absolutely.
You just, and I don't care who you are, what team you are, if you lose your head coach and he's a Hall of Famer as Bill Self is, it's hard to keep that same intensity.
Absolutely. So, before we get to Austin, my two teams are, I really like Purdue being a 1 seed. Plus their draw is okay. And I really like Texas. If Texas plays good basketball, like if they play like they did against Kansas the last 2 games they played, absolutely. I really like Texas.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. The whole thing with Chris Beard, I could do a whole show on that, but that's such a joke.
Oh, man.
Chris Beard getting another job right away.
Yeah. My goodness.
But anyway.
But if you think you can take the PR hit, why not?
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time in professional sports, and that ain't nothing but the semi-professional sports anyway.
Yeah. So, all right, Austin.
Yeah, Texas for sure. 6th oldest team.
Oh, you like Texas?
Oh, yeah, baby. I love Texas.
He was on Texas to beat KU the other day.
Oh, man, I was huge on them. I had them all day. If I won a game during the day, I was taking that profit and rolling it right back on Texas. I think sixth oldest team. They're top 10 in turnovers. Turnover differential. So they get takeaways. They just play. They're really solid. I like that. They just play really good. I mean, I don't want to say fundamental ball. They don't make a lot of mistakes, and they play really well. And when they show up, they have to. I mean, I watched them all year because I bet a lot of Big 12. And I'm very impressed by Texas.
They're huge. They can beat you in many different ways.
I love the way their team's made up. I think they're underrated because some people have seen them play bad games. And I'm like, man, they came out, and what you saw against KU the other night is what you're going to get. They know it. They're an older team. They know it's time to turn it on, and they balled on the Jayhawks the other night.
They did.
They balled on the Jayhawks 2 times in a week.
I mean, just balled on them. Yeah. And so the second team I enjoy, and I think it's going to be. I took them a few weeks ago, 50-1 to win, and I like Duke.
Ooh. Duke late in the year was a good.
They've won 9 in a row,
like 11.
11 in a row now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had seen a stat. I think they had, at this point they were at like 2-0 or something like that. And there was a guy on a podcast talking about all their players coming back from injury. And I'm like, what? And I started listening. So I started betting on Duke throughout the year. And I keep watching these guys, and I'm like, oh shoot, this team is getting better and better every single game.
Yep.
So I'm like, that's my long shot. I got them 50-1. I don't know what they are right now. Yeah. But if I'm going to put a little bit of money on a Texas future, and then I already have money on a Duke future. So that's it.
Yeah. All right. And I also took the Royals went down to 67.5 for their win total.
Did you jump on the over?
I took the over. I was going to take the over at 69.5 is what they were
over
2
at
weeks
67 ago. Is.
Hey, I'll tell you what, the best bet in the last 2 months is Royals money line in spring training.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They've been killing it.
I also put a future bet, so that obviously that's a future bet, but a futures bet on the Royals making the playoffs.
What does that pay?
I want to say it was like 3,500 to 1, 3,800 to 1.
No, what?
Yeah. I gotta look at it again, but I'm pretty sure that's what I got it at. Yeah.
Or is that plus 3,800? So it's 38 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
So I put like, I don't know, $10 on it, just something to win, something small.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Awesome.
And yeah, make sure you guys. Everybody who's listening, make sure you tune in. We're going to start releasing some mock drafts.
Yeah.
Here. Gary will release some Cowboys first total draft mock drafts.
Yep.
Me and Austin will do the Chiefs, and then we'll release our first round for every team, yeah. How we think it plays out.
It's the regular first round. So, yeah, I'll get on that. But, yeah, you can find us on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's all under just Midwest Mics.
Gary and Austin will be having the TikTok page going in Vegas.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, we might. Gary, let's do that. Let's get it going in Vegas. Let's get TikTok going in Vegas.
Do some TikToks. That's under Midwest Mics also. So you can find us basically any platform. Just look up Midwest Mics. And as always, we appreciate your support. Share the shows when you see them out there on social media. Just press that share button, press the like, subscribe, all those things, and keep us going. But I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
And Gritty.
And we'll see you guys next week after we're millionaires back from Vegas.